So will I buy a Birkin? This is a question that I get asked from time to time. I've talked about wanting a Birkin. I've been asked when I think I might buy a Birkin. Let's talk about it. Hello, and the warmest of welcomes to today's video. For those who haven't seen my face before, hi, I'm Nick, glad to have you here. Those who have seen my face before, thank you so much for joining me again. I hope you enjoy my videos. I put out videos roughly 3 times a week on a range of different topics, anywhere from fashion to slightly more personal topics. So if that sounds like something you'd be interested in, then please do head down, hit subscribe and turn on the notification bell. I love chatting with you all. I'm all about living life loud. And what that means to me is being your authentic self, being proud to be you and just celebrating who you are. Celebrate yourself and of course we celebrate others. So, the Birkin bag, the iconic Birkin bag, something that is coveted, lusted after. I think for many, not for all, but for many, is deemed to be kind of one of the, pinnacle bags in a collector's collection, or to own. Some people they want it to be the only bag they own, understandably so. That is, like I said, it's not for everyone. Not everyone wants a Birkin, not everyone wants an Hermes bag, not everyone wants a designer bag, not everyone wants a luxury bag, not everyone wants a bag at all. So it is certainly not for everyone, but I do know many who love the Birkin, who want a Birkin. I just think it's such an iconic piece of fashion. Obviously, we all know the story that sits behind it in terms of how the Birkin came to be. A really nice story, I must say, and just a testament to how a chance encounter can create something so iconic. So I think that's a really special kind of story that sits behind that particular piece. But the Birkin itself, I have spoken about wanting a Birkin. Years ago, I talked about potentially wanting one for sort of around my 30th birthday. Now, I turned 30 this year. Is there a Birkin in my future? Certainly not around when I turn 30. I'm not in a position to buy a Birkin at this point, full transparency. I'm not in a position to do it. There are so many other things that I need to be prioritising over and above what that particular bag costs. As dreamy as it would be to have one, it certainly won't be at the expense of holidays, dinners, other luxury or fashion purchases, spending time with friends. All of that stuff for me will come first. Experiences will come first. The fashion, etc. I absolutely love it. I definitely spend a lot of my disposable income on it, but I also don't want to sink everything that I would spend maybe in a year on total fashion, clothes, shoes, bags, into something like a Birkin. I'm just not in a position to do it. I want to be able to comfortably afford it and it not mean that I have to significantly sacrifice other experiences, other aspects of my life in order to do it. I would also need to save quite hard for a pretty long time in order to be able to go, here we go, that's what I'm going to do. But looking further forward, let's say 5 years, is it a potential? Yeah, I would really still like to own one. I think the Birkin is beautiful. I love the 25 on other individuals and I love the 30 on other individuals. Those aren't sizes that would work for me. I would personally like a 35, ideally a 40 would be perfect for me, in a bright colour with a palladium hardware. I love silver hardware, as you know. So I would love a palladium hardware in a bright colour. Bright yellow, bright green, bright blue, bright pink, I think would be absolutely beautiful. I would love one in an exotic, but I can't afford an exotic by any stretch. Even in my sort of imagination, I can't afford an exotic version of a Birkin. So we'll take that off the table. We'll be looking at probably something in a grained or pebbled leather, just because I like the durability of them. I also quite like the look. I think they look really nice. But why do I like the Birkin? I think it's simple. I think it's chic. I think it's elegant. I think it's practical. I like that style of bag. I like a strict top handle that you can fill with a lot of items, and it isn't too heavily branded, but it can be bought in beautiful bright colours or beautiful textures, and it's then still a show-stopping piece. As you know, I am a big fan of the Bayswater. So here's an example of one of mine. I have 4 Bayswaters, all of which are quite different. But for me, this has quite a few similar, it shares quite a lot of cues with the Birkin, I believe. This bag is, not this particular one, but this style of bag, I think is over 25 years old. It's a staple of the Mulberry brand. But I think it's got quite a few cues that are very similar to that of a Birkin. And this is a 36cm bag on the base. So I'm quite comfortable with this particular size, carrying it top handle only. Doesn't have to have a shoulder strap. On the interior, they are fairly simple in their nature. You've got this turn lock design. Of course, the Birkin has a slightly different closure. But there are things about this that make me think, do I need a Birkin? Because I love my Bayswaters, and actually do they do a similar thing? But I think there is a part of me that just wants to own a Birkin. I love bags. I think the Birkin is one of the most iconic. I think it is beautiful. And therefore, I believe I want to own a Birkin because it's a Birkin. And I'm not going to sit here, and I'm sure the quality is fabulous, but I'm not going to sit here and try and say it's all of that stuff, because I believe I can get that elsewhere. I want to own that particular bag because I think it's beautiful, but also because it's an iconic bag. And the name of it is iconic. I mean, to be able to say you own a Birkin, I think is fantastic. Like I said, it's not for everyone. And it's certainly not going to be, I'm not going to be walking, if I do buy one, up to people and say, hi, I'm Nick and I own a Birkin. Like, it's not going to become my personality. However, I think it's a, it's a nice thing as someone who loves these particular products to be able to own if you have the opportunity to do so. Now, like I said, it's quite a long way off for me. I certainly can't afford one in the near future. Not even like the fairly semi-distant future. We're talking like a fair few years. We're talking like 5-6 years probably before I'm even really starting to think about it. But when I do go for it, I would want to go for one in that particular variation I've just spoken about, bright colour, and then with the palladium hardware in a larger size. But I also won't play any game. I will not do it. I will chance my arm. I will walk into a store and I will say, I'm looking for a bright Birkin in a big size, what have you got? And if they say to me, thank you so much for your inquiry, sir, but we don't have anything for you today, no issues, I'll go back 6 months later, try again. 6 months after that, try again. You will certainly not see me walking out with a dinner set, with a click-clack bracelet, because the Birkin itself would be the stretch for me in terms of the price. I'm not going to go and then drop lots of money on other stuff that I don't need, I have no business owning, simply to spend on a bag that's already a stretch to begin with. That is not happening in this scenario. I will sooner not have one. I will sooner continue to carry Bayswaters. I will carry Aspinall totes. I will carry Longchamp pieces. I will carry MCM pieces. I will branch out into other brands before I start dropping big money on stuff that I have no business owning and have no desire to use. That is not going to happen. I also don't have an interest in going pre-loved. I do not have an interest in going pre-loved. That premium is not worth it. The bag is already so expensive to me that the thought of then half again, if not double in some cases, to own it pre-loved is certainly not something I'm getting into. Again, there are so many other pieces that I would love to own that I think do a similar thing to the Birkin, that the name itself isn't worth that much to me. It is worth a premium to me. Absolutely it is. To own a Birkin is worth a premium to me. I'm not even that worried about the fact that it's Hermes. Hermes doesn't capture me that much because, in all honesty, the garden party, the hair bag, and the Birkin are really the only 3 items I actually like from Hermes. Outside of that, I'm not that fussed about any of it, to be honest. So the Constance is growing on me. I like some of the belts, but not enough to go anywhere near them in terms of the cost. But I won't be playing any sort of game. It's not worth that much to me. However, like I said, full transparency. I would like to own a Birkin because it's a Birkin. I think there will be other bags in my collection, if I boiled it down to features, if I boiled it down to look, they would be similar. It wouldn't be so far ahead of anything else that I would be able to get on the market for probably half the price. If not, taking something like my Bayswaters into consideration, probably a 1/10 of the price, near enough. However, it is iconic and that is worth money. It is worth money. The brand is worth money. The name is worth money. The craftsmanship is worth something. The story is worth something. It all culminates in what becomes a very iconic and very expensive piece. So in the short answer to when I got asked the question of would you own a Birkin? Yes, I would love to own a Birkin. I think it would be great, and I think I could style the hell out of that thing. However, I will not do it at the expense of other aspects of my life. There are lots of other things I want to achieve before spending that amount of money on a bag. Then I would like to buy one in store. I want it to be the right variation. If they tried to offer me something that wasn't the right variation, again, I would thank them for their time and I would walk away. I'm not going to spend anywhere near that sort of money. And I would want them to know that me as a customer, I think I would like to work with a sales associate who respects the fact that you say, thank you so much, but that's not for me. This is something that I've had in my head for a long time and I need it to be right. If they don't respect that, then hey, I will spend my money elsewhere. I spoke in my advice video, regrets video, the tag video that Connor created about walking away when you don't feel the service is quite right. If they don't respect the fact that I'm not going to spend significant money on something that's not quite right, and therefore they don't offer me another piece in the future, then it's not an environment for me, and that's absolutely okay. Also, if they say, do you know what, we do have that piece, however, it's earmarked for another customer, a customer who buys with us regularly, again, have at it. Let them have it. I would expect my sales associate to earmark things for me if they thought I loved them. I would expect if a hot pink Longchamp Rousseau came into one of the London stores and my sales associate saw it and went, oh my goodness, Nick's been asking that for ages and we've only got the one, it would be perfect for him. I would expect her to call me and say, I've got this, I've put it on hold, do you want it? And if I say no, then of course another client can go for it. But knowing that that would be perfect for me, I would expect them to contact me first and not offer it to someone who has no history. Absolutely, I would expect that. So I wouldn't expect them to deviate from that with their clients. But if they don't have a client for something and I walk in and my cash is as good as anyone else's, well then take my money. However, I certainly don't have that amount of money at this point in time. I won't do for a fair amount of time. So, let's talk like 5-year plan. I was a little ambitious thinking that maybe around 30 I could do it. No, that was overly ambitious. We've got other things to be doing. We've got, we've got a life to live around here. So Birkin, yes, in the future, certainly not anytime soon, keeping my eyes peeled, and when I do, I will not be playing a game. I will walk in, ask for what I want. If they have it, fantastic, and if they don't, I will walk away, and there is no hard feelings from me. Unless it's not a very nice experience, then there'll be some hard feelings, but we're going to go in positively and think that, in what year are we in? 2029, when I decide that the Birkin could be for me, that is when I hope I have a positive experience. And God knows at that point, they're probably going to be like 20 grand. Oh my goodness. That's the scary thing with luxury when you start thinking in the future with these price increases. Goodness knows what the cost will be at that point. So who knows? Let's see. Only time will tell. Let's see what happens. Thank you so much as always for watching. I look forward to seeing you in my next video. Take care, everyone. Bye now. Mwah.